Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by Stouffer's. Here comes three-time juggling champion Natalia Rogers. She's juggling law school, her TA job. Oh, narrowly catches the laundry. What's that fourth ball? Parents unexpectedly showed up at dinner time? Is that too much for Natalia? Not with Stouffer's Chicken Alfredo and its mouth-watering mix of Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan. When you're juggling four things at once and the clock strikes dinner, think Stouffer's.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
Air Force One forced to turn back around shortly after President Trump was set to take off for a conference in Switzerland. Dominic Carter here with you folks. Good morning. The number to reach us this hour, 800-848-9222. Air Force One experiencing what's being called a minor electrical issue and was forced to return to Maryland tonight shortly after President Trump took off for Switzerland. The White House has announced the issue was identified by the crew after takeoff, where the president is set to deliver a keynote speech to European leaders at the World Economic Forum later on today, Wednesday. Air Force One landing back at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, where the president expected to board a new plane, according to White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt. His arrival in Switzerland has been delayed. We're following this story. Any breaking information this hour, we will bring it to you live immediately. This hour, the issues that we're dealing with, looking back at his first year in office, President Trump holding up a worst of the worst sheet of criminal migrants that have been captured in Minnesota, just Minnesota alone, thanks to Patriot ICE agents. Those are the president's words. And the mayor of America's largest city, Mamdani, goes on The View. It was a love affair. And this guy that has no idea what he's doing, 34 years old, loves social media, loves making these corny videos. He wants to abolish ICE. So we'll get to all of this, and we're following the Air Force One situation, 800-848-9222. The president, in marking his first year in office, notice the difference in news conferences. He went on for what, 2 hours? Just taking questions. Boom, 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 boom. Imagine that happening under President Biden. It just doesn't work. Didn't work, wouldn't work, can't work. President Trump teeing off on Don Lemon, and Don Lemon may have some serious legal problems. The president praising ICE, denouncing Don Lemon.
So this is what the people are trying to protect, because all ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday.
The president teeing off on Don Lemon, 800-848-9222. You want to understand how bad things are, the political divide in America. This perhaps can be illustration number one. It's downright ugly and nasty. The White House press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, I don't know her, but I met her. I interviewed her. The nicest person you could meet. The nicest woman you could meet. Is she very good at her job? Is she sharp when she takes to that microphone? She is very, very good at what she does. I want you to listen to this comment from social media. Woman to woman, another woman hoping that Caroline Levitt, who is now pregnant, expecting her second child, hoping that she experiences traumatic injuries during childbirth.
My wish for Caroline Levitt, she is pregnant with a baby girl, and I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong, so headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric tech garage, that she tears her from bow to f***ing stern. Grade 4 tear. Like so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room, like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah. That's my wish for you, Caroline.
Sick, pathetic, disgusting. It's no joke, no laughing matter when women during childbirth, sometimes there are tears that require stitches, internal stitches. And as we all know, some women die during childbirth. Why would you wish traumatic injuries during childbirth on anyone else? Woman to woman. Why would you do that? It defies all logic. And it points to everything, and I mean everything, in terms of what is wrong in America, the political divide. Why would you do that to someone? Mom Donnie goes on The View, and it was just one big love affair. And New York's new mayor that can't deliver on diddly squat just talks a good game, saying exactly the same things over and over and over and over, just like a 45 record that you keep repeating over and over and over again. This clown wants to abolish ICE.
I want to know where you come down on abolishing ICE and if you believe that ICE has any legitimate law enforcement role.
You know, I am in support of abolishing ICE, and I'll tell you why. Because what we see is an entity that has no interest in fulfilling its stated reason to exist. We're seeing a government agency that is supposed to be enforcing some kind of immigration law, but instead what it's doing is terrorizing people, no matter their immigration status, no matter the facts of the law, no matter the facts of the case. And I'm tired of waking up every day and seeing a new image of someone being dragged out of a car, dragged out of their home, dragged out of their life. What we need to see is humanity. And there is a way to care about immigration in this city and in this country with a sense of humanity. What we're seeing from ICE is not it, and we have not seen that from them in a long, long time.
So there you have it, the do-nothing mayor that can't deliver on anything, that went from managing 5 people to now thousands of employees. He wants to abolish ICE. Isn't that just wonderful? 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls here. Let's begin with Max, line 2, Manhattan. Max, what's on your mind?
Dominic, thank you for taking my call. Davos, Switzerland. This meeting is going to be filled with the movers and shakers of the world, like Klaus Schwab. Trump. These people are almost totally against what Trump is or what he stands for. I don't think that Trump should be flying at this point. He should stay in Washington or in Mar-a-Lago. He can Zoom them if he has to speak to them, but he should not be traveling.
Why should the leader of the free world curb his flying activities? I mean, here's what I'm trying to say. That again?
I can answer that.
Okay.
I don't think he should have to.
No, well, you
but
said
it's
that.
Very
you
dangerous.
said that already, and you should have let me finish before cutting me off.
All right.
Number one.
Go ahead.
What I was about to say to you is that the president has left a specific instruction that if he's assassinated, God forbid, by Iran, that Iran is to be blown off the face of the earth. I'll say again, why should the leader of the free world not travel? No offense, it's ridiculous to make that case, but go ahead.
Okay, if we look what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania with Cheadle.
Okay, wait a minute. So the president is supposed to curb all his activities. He did not have a full Secret Service detail in Butler. He had what was given to a former president. There were 5 agents assigned to him. He now has the full protection of the United States of America. Are you serious, Max?
Yes, I am serious.
Okay, but how do you compare Butler to him now being the president of the United States?
Because the Secret Service was in charge of Butler and they screwed up, and the head of
okay. I'm going to say again because we're not
now.
okay. Wait a second here. We're not making any headway. I'm going to say this again.
Go ahead.
There were 5 Secret Service agents in Butler. He now has hundreds of Secret Service agents assigned to him as the president of the United. You sound like you believe in conspiracies.
If what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was due to 5 Secret Service officials, it was run by Cheadle.
Okay. I'm going to say again. Let's lose him. I'm done. I'm not going to waste my breath going over and over saying the same things with you. Let's go to Norman, line 1 in Brooklyn. Norman, what's on your mind?
Yeah, that woman you played wanting Karen Levitt to be ripped apart.
Yes.
She needs to be freaked by the police, man.
Yes,
that woman needs,
I agree with you.
Seriously, I mean, I wouldn't, if I knew my neighbor was putting stuff like that on the internet on there, I'd call the cops. I mean, that's some scary stuff, man, you played. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, I'd be nervous if that person would have bodies in their basement or something like that.
Well, Norman, maybe you can help me, or maybe this is the question that a woman needs to answer since neither you or I are female. Women die still during delivery. Why would you wish something like that on a press secretary? Why?
Because we're talking about a sociopath there. We're talking about a psycho. I mean, listen, it's not like that was some scary stuff, man. And that person's activity needs to be curtailed. I'm sorry. That's just, that was too frightening.
So you're saying you believe the social media companies should step in and shut her down. That was some Charles Manson stuff, man, going on there. So right. I hope that woman is completely investigated. Right.
That's my thought. Now, and then the second thought I had.
It's got to be quick, Norman. I got to toss to a Norman, you're not listening to me. It's got to be quick. I've got to toss to a break in 15 seconds. Go ahead.
Who's it going to be? If we are expecting illegal alien criminals to be picked up, we've decided that ICE is the one. So if you're going to get rid of ICE, who the hell is going to do that? That's it. That's my point.
Fair enough. Thank you. And on that note, thank you for the call, Norman. We see all your other calls, 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are continuing to follow our lead story. Air Force One forced to turn back around shortly after President Trump was taking off to travel to a conference in Switzerland. And apparently for what's being called a minor electrical issue, Air Force One turned back around to Maryland, and the president is expected to board a new aircraft, but he will be delayed arriving in Switzerland. And as he spoke to reporters walking into the briefing room at the White House to mark 1 year in office, the topic of Minneapolis came up. You heard what he had to say on Don Lemon, but also the topic of the woman that drove that vehicle and forced, unfortunately, the ICE agent to use deadly force, Renee Good. The president was asked about her.
I felt horribly when I was told that the young woman who was had a tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a horrible thing. Everybody would say, ICE would say the same thing. But when I learned her parents and her father in particular I hope he still is, but I don't know, was a tremendous Trump fan. He was all for Trump, loved Trump. And, it's terrible. I was told that by a lot of people. They said, oh, he loves you. He was I hope he still feels that way. I don't know. It's a hard situation. But her father was a tremendous, and parents were tremendous Trump fans. It's so sad. It just happens. It's terrible.
Let's go back to your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Line 4, Mike in Brighton Beach. Mike, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. One of the callers mentioned Davos, and with respect to Klaus Schwab, I just wanted to point out that Klaus Schwab is no longer there. He has been taken out in disgrace. He was accused, and he's still embroiled in financial shenanigans, embezzling money, and they are not going to even have a memorial for him or mention him in any way. So the signals from the new people at Davos have been to the administration that they'd like him to come, and that's why he's there, and they're going to discuss not only Ukraine, but Greenland, other things. And, of course, the chess move with Venezuela has thrown everything into, our corner. We have, the dynamic of power has shifted to the United States in a big way. And you can cut in here anytime you want, but China, of course, with their $20 billion oil refinery that's just sitting there, which was completely designed to refine Venezuelan oil, they're in a bad situation. So everything's changed, and of course Europe sees that.
So the first caller, and he seemed a little off, with all due respect, but he says that the president should not travel outside the country in these times, pointing to Butler, Pennsylvania. And I tried to explain to him that Secret Service detail was like a 1 compared to a 20, what he has now. Do you agree that the president shouldn't travel? I think he should continue as the leader of the free world.
He's got plenty of protection. His protocols have been in place for a long time. That's going to be fine.
Right, and a lot of agents assigned. I mean, the detail for the active president of the United States, it's completely different than what it is for a former president of the United States. Mike, thank you very much for that call. Dominic Carter here with you folks. The number to reach us live, 800-848-9222. We're continuing to follow our lead story. Air Force One forced to turn back shortly after the president was scheduled to take off and did take off, but turned back he was headed for a conference in Switzerland. It's being described as a minor electrical issue. He's expected to board another aircraft and will be delayed arriving in Switzerland. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And we are continuing to follow Air Force One, forced to turn back around and head back to Maryland shortly after taking off for a conference for President Trump to take him to Switzerland to address European leaders. With me now, Matt Blaze. Matt, is there any additional details or what actually happened here?
No additional details that I am seeing. So what happened is they're saying shortly after takeoff, less than an hour after takeoff, they indicated that there was a minor electrical issue and that the lights in the press cabin went off for a brief moment and then came back on, which could have something to do with, or maybe not. Things like that happen all the time on airplanes where lights go out and they come back. But they're not going to take any chances, obviously. It's Air Force One. It's the President of the United States. A minor electrical problem could be the smallest, littlest nothing, like maybe the light's going out and they say, oh, something happened, something flashed, and then it went away. Now, we drive our cars, a light comes on, it goes off. I drive my car every day. My seatbelt light comes on even when my seatbelt's on. But that's me. This is the president. It could be the smallest infantile nothing, but they're going to turn the plane around out of abundance of caution, as they should, and say, you know what? We're not taking any chances, especially it's less than an hour after takeoff, so they're close enough that they can just turn around and switch planes, which is absolutely the right thing to do.
Agreed. You can't take a chance like that, and you're correct, Matt. You and I, we may drive and a light, or anybody listening, a light comes on, but we're not the president of the United States.
No, you let it go. Whatever, it goes on. You turn your car off, you turn it back on, it works again. This is the president. This is the airplane. And they go over that plane with a fine-tooth comb multiple times.
Numerous times a day.
Right, exactly. So a minor issue, it happens. Things happen. If it was if the engine blew up or something like that, that'd be crazy. But a little minor issue that doesn't mean it was somebody's fault, doesn't mean that somebody didn't do their job. It's electrical, it's mechanical, things happen. And a little issue, as they keep calling it, a minor issue, a minor electrical issue, taking no chances, turn around, get on a new plane, and get on your way.
Thank you, Matt Blaze. The White House, Carolyn Levitt, announcing the president's trip is still going forward as far as of right now. It's just he's going to be delayed. As Matt just said, traveling on a secondary aircraft headed to Switzerland. We are following the story. Should anything happen during the course of this hour, we will bring it to you live. We started out, one of the sound bites, Carolyn Levitt, the White House press secretary. This woman, I only met with her for maybe, 20, 30 minutes. One of the nicest people you could ever encounter. And online, if you don't know, she's pregnant, expecting her second child. And if you know anything about pregnancy, when a woman is pregnant, the last thing they want as far as superstition is, they're worried about the health of the baby. They're worried about their health. And you don't want anyone, if you will, jinxing your childbirth. And this character on social media, you don't do things like this, but she's hoping that when Caroline Levitt delivers, that she experienced traumatic injuries during childbirth.
My wish for Caroline Levitt, she is pregnant with a baby girl, and I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong, so headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric tech garage, that she tears her from bow to f***ing stern. grade 4 chair. Like so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room, like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah. That's my wish for you, Caroline.
Breaking news.
And we are just getting this information in as of Air Force One, live right now. Another aircraft that is carrying the president. I don't even feel comfortable, folks, stating what type of aircraft it is for security purposes. But another aircraft is airborne and took off just after midnight. So as we were hitting air, this aircraft took off and it's heading to Europe. And its call sign, I don't want to say it's call sign, but the call sign is now being changed in flight to Air Force One. So anything that transports the President of the United States of America, as it should be, once the President steps onto it, it changes into Air Force One, Marine One, whatever the case may be. But again, the information, and we're following this right now, aircraft took off just after midnight, this is the secondary aircraft, heading and carrying the president, heading to Europe, and the call sign is now being changed in flight to Air Force One, carrying the President of the United States of America, heading to Switzerland. We are continuing to follow this story. We see all of your telephone calls, and we'll get to them in just a second. But the president talking to the media a few hours ago, marking 1 year in office. And one of the things and he spoke to the media for some 2 hours. And at one point, and I thought this was very, very effective, he held up photos of, who did he hold up photos of? Child rapists, murderers, and so on, in terms of the people that have been caught by ICE. While you have the governor, Mayor Fry of Minneapolis, they're all arguing against ICE.
People, vicious, many of them murderers. These are all out of Minnesota, just Minnesota. I say, why don't you talk about that more? Because people don't know. Do you want to live with these people? International murder. These are people that are living, if they're apprehended, and either put in jails in their country from where they came, and the countries respect us, and so they actually put them there. In the old days, they didn't respect our country. Biden wouldn't do this because he let them all in. You know, if you didn't have open border policies of Biden, none of this, all of the time that we spend talking about Minnesota and everything else, most of them are coming from out of the country. And it's been caused by a previous administration. Look at this, one after one. Boy, these are rough characters. These are all criminal, illegal aliens that, in many cases, they're murderers, they're drug lords, drug dealers, they're the mentally insane. There's some of them who are brutal killers, they're mentally insane. They're killers, but they're insane. These are just in Minnesota, California. It's worse. In other states, it's worse. No, Minnesota, the crime is incredible. The financial crimes are incredible. And the problem is because of the agitators and insurrectionists, whatever you want, trouble.
The President of the United States speaking a few hours ago from the White House. And again, the top story that we're following, the Air Force One was forced to turn back, electrical problem, as Matt Blaze described. And the aircraft turned back, minor electrical problem described by the White House, taking no chance. The aircraft headed to Switzerland, where the president expected to address world economic leaders at the European conference. And so the aircraft turned back to Maryland, and the new aircraft that has now been deemed Air Force One, because it is carrying the President of the United States, has taken off for Switzerland. That aircraft left within the last 40 minutes. The president will be late to Switzerland, but he will still make the conference. We're also dealing with the fact that Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, the socialist mayor, went on The View Tuesday and saying the same old nonsense, dollar in a dream, pie in the sky, no way to pay for any of it. He also wants to abolish ICE. Let's go back to your telephone calls here. Let's see. Let's go to Martin, line 3, upstate New York. Martin, what's on your mind?
Hello there, Dominic. Thank you for taking my call. That deranged, that person that talking about Caroline Levitt, she's deranged, like many of these people. Mandami, who is wants to abolish ICE. This is like insanity. These people are mainly insane. I was wanting to talk about Greenland.
It's got to be quick. That's not what it says here that you wanted to talk about, but it's got to be quick, Martin. Go ahead.
Okay. Greenland. The Europeans, if it wasn't for the United States, they would be speaking German or Russian now. They've been under our umbrella of defense for decades.
Absolutely.
And if Donald Trump, our president, says that we need Greenland for national security, it includes them. It includes their security. We need it, and they should just, be cool and give it to us because we need it.
I agree with you. I got to move on, Martin, but thank you for the great call. As opposed to the option of it going to China or Russia, or having influence over it. So I agree with Martin with everything that he just said. Let's see here. Let's go to Marianne in Queens, line 2. Marianne, what's on your mind?
Well, I believe that the president should be very careful when he travels, especially to Europe. Why the European Union do not agree with Donald Trump acquiring Greenland? And I believe that since they're having so many people protesting against him, they might take the time to do something to the president. I believe that he's very brave, but we have to be careful. We just need someone from his own people that God supposed to guard him, to sell himself.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, Marianne. There are people, Marianne. There are people watching the people that protect the president. So there are secondary, and I shouldn't go into all of this, but there are secondary security measures in case there's someone within the group that's selling out the United States of America. So there are secondary protocols to protect him. Go ahead.
That makes me feel better. I believe what you say, but I was a little concerned about that. Now, the fact that Europe is doing, especially you see what's going on in England. They have this super embassy for China, and they're doing business with them. So that means that things doesn't look, very bright for me. That's my opinion. If they are being friends of United States enemies, we cannot trust them. And I believe that anything can happen.
I hear you, Marianne, and thank you for the call. Let's go now to Pamela, line 3 in New Jersey. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Hi, Trump said he's going to construct new insane asylums. And I think when one of them is finished, that woman who wished ill will on Caroline Levitt should be the first client.
Hey, Pamela, do you have children?
No.
You don't. Okay, but as a woman, you can handle this issue a lot better than I can. Childbirth is no joke. Why would one woman wish that on another woman?
These people are insane. These people, I don't know what they did to our youth. And well, hey, having been a teacher, and I don't know if you remember, but I won't go into it right now. But I understand what happened, and they must have brainwash them like super style, like KGB style. I can't believe these people, how evil they are. I mean,
Yeah.
and childbirth is very dangerous still to this day.
Very. Many women die. Pamela, thank you for the call. I've got to take a break, and we're going to do exactly that, folks. Again, we're following Air Force One, forced to turn back around, come back to Maryland. There's a new aircraft in the air at this hour that's been designated Air Force One, taking the president to the conference in Switzerland.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter. Breaking news.
And updating our top story live here this hour, Air Force One carrying President Trump that took off for Switzerland, where the president is set to address European leaders in Switzerland, was forced to turn back and return to Maryland in what's being described as a minor electrical problem. We can now tell you, and for security reasons, I don't want to say what type of aircraft is up in the air, but just after midnight, another plane took off with the president heading to Europe. And the call sign, of that aircraft, I don't want to say, at least it'll be public in a matter of time, but I just don't want to say, I don't feel comfortable stating it right now. The call sign of that aircraft has now been changed in flight to Air Force One, traveling with the President of the United States of America. He will be late arriving in Switzerland for the conference. I don't know how the man does it. I really don't. Going before the White House press corps for 2 hours today, nonstop schedule, and then flying overnight to Switzerland to address a conference. And the one thing I can tell you, folks, don't think that this stuff just comes out of thin air. There is protocol when it involves the president for everything. So believe me, there's a protocol of a problem with Air Force One, and they must switch to a secondary aircraft. And now that aircraft, the call letters has now been changed to Air Force One, carrying the President of the United States. As we speak, that aircraft is now en route to Switzerland. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Line 4, Steve in Newark, New Jersey. Steve, what's on your mind?
Dominic, good to hear from you, my brother. I listen to you every night, as you know. I don't call in every night, but that Don Lemon, I hope they prosecute him to the fullest. That's number one. I hope him and his partner Ike stay in whatever podcast they live in, and they stay together forever. Carolyn, what that young lady said about her, she should karma. Air Force. The flight that Trump took tonight, my family pilot, the first indication turns that thing right around because he's the most powerful person in the world. And I can say one thing, Dominic, that piece of garbage Lemon, put him in jail. And anybody that follows him, they are out of their you-know-what minds.
You'd be surprised, Steve, the amount of people that follow this nut clown loser who's got to be one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in media, Don Lemon. And it's clear this man is having a full mental breakdown. Somebody needs to get control of him.
He needs to call his partner Ike and calm him down. And Dominic, Big Mac going home, anything, don't let Matt Blaze tell you about lemon juice. It cleanses your body, my brother. It cleanses all those bad oxygens in your body. You're going to be good, my brother. Eat it and then have some lemon juice first thing in the morning before you do anything. And God bless you, Dominic. I love you.
Thank you. So have some lemon juice and okay, all right. After I eat the Big Mac, Matt Blaze is just smiling right now. So, Matt Blaze, you like the advice there?
Well, weren't you doing that? Did you try to have like water with lemon and it was like, kind of boring.
You know, folks like Liz in Florida, Sandra in New Jersey, they said have the fruit flavored water, and get the device where you put the fruit in and it's separate. I've tried that. Boring.
I was gonna say there's nothing exciting about that whatsoever. You want to look forward to something. Like, we like to eat. Like a
I
Diet
Coke,
eat, man.
And when I shouldn't say this, but a Diet Coke or Big Mac sometimes, it's like good sex. It's like, ooh.
Man, when I open that can of soda.
Thank you, Matt Blaze. Safe travels to the President of the United States headed to Switzerland. I'm back at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.